Yo, it's your boy Aaron Lee here, back with another video. Counselors, I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear what you got to say. I want to hear your feedback. So if you like this video, please thumbs up, subscribe down below, and comment in the comment section. Question is black supremacy real? Before we jump into that, let me just say this. I It's been a rough past week and a half with what's been going on with the protests and everything that's happened, with the deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Manuel Ellis. I mean, I can continue going on, and this is just within a span of months that we're just finding out this information in regards to these people. This has been a rough past few weeks. What's been going on, and I'm not entirely surprised at what's been going on because everything that's been happening was already bound to happen. What we don't realize is that this is something that's been was supposed to happen years ago, and things was already supposed to change. This wasn't my first protest. The last video you saw, I was protesting out in Newark, and there was a lot going on. There was definitely flag burnings and chanting, and it was a lot of aggressiveness. I understood why, but for the most part it was very peaceful. And I feel like, being that was my second protest, I wasn't surprised at the outcome. I wasn't surprised of the people showing up and supporting, because this is something that has been going on for a while. But my first one was in 2013. It was probably around that time. It was for Trayvon Martin and all those other people's lives that were lost. All those other black lives that were lost at that time. It was hurtful for me. Now to know that we're doing the same thing and nothing has changed, it's repulsive. I can't understand. So for me, I'm at this point now where the stuff that's going on in this world with the looting and all of the businesses being burned down, I think that's something that most of us have to just understand, that is what people are going to do in this time and age. I'm at this point in my time where I'm not supporting anybody who can't support black lives. If you can't support black lives and you don't treat black lives equally, then I'm at the point where I'm calling you out. If you're a corporation or a celebrity who feels the need to defend all lives matter, or get sidetracked from the mission, they really need to be addressed and held accountable for what they said or what they're not doing. And for me, that's important. And if we can't address these people and hold them accountable, the same behavior and the same rhetoric is just going to keep happening. So I'm at the point now, any corporations, celebrities, or anybody who feels that they can't get with Black Lives Matter and understand that racism needs to be ended, and this is not about commingling white people and black people together, because clearly that doesn't work. We've tried it. Come on, we've tried it. Black people have tried for years to be in white presence and to live around white people and to be, of white people. And again and again, time and time again, it hasn't worked. There hasn't been no consistency with how we're being treated equally in this country. My last video where I talked about racism, that was just me giving you a brief synopsis in my mind of what I've experienced and what I feel. But right now, this is me talking as a person who's experienced racism in this country, even though I'm fortunate to have not experienced it like what's been going on in Minnesota and all these other states that have been experiencing racism. But I could definitely tell you that I've experienced my fair share, and my experience was just that, my experience. But at this point in time, this is me basically telling people out there, these corporations and these celebrities who feel the need to basically not defend black lives, I'm addressing it. I'm publicly putting you out there, and I'm addressing it, and I'm holding you accountable. And if you can't change it, then I won't support you. And that's how it is. That's just what it's going to be. You think that you as a celebrity, I can't find someone just like you who's willing to support black lives? No, we don't need you. We don't need you. or a corporation. Walmart, we don't need you. You already make cheap clothes. I could find somebody, a black business, who could make me a t-shirt and some jeans, and I could be a consistent paying customer, in which that'll be beneficial for me and for them, in which I never have to step in your door again. I don't even have to buy the food that you have, because most of the stuff on your counters is high fructose corn syrup anyway. But we're not gonna get into that. I'm just saying, at this point in time, if you're not supporting black lives, that's it. I'm cutting you off. We're addressing it, we're holding you accountable, and if you can't change it, then we're not giving you our money. And this goes for anybody around me that knows me. If we see something that's going on with these businesses in which they treat us like we're not human, and they feel like whatever we do is just not is not necessary of equal treatment, let them go. You don't need a Walmart if they can't support black lives. You don't need a Target if you can't support black lives. You don't need an AutoZone if you can't support black lives. You don't need these billion-dollar corporations who already have insurance on these companies anyway, but I'm not going to get there because I'm not promoting violence or looting or rioting. I'm not promoting any of that. But how are we going to get change? Because this is a movement that I think we've already seen years and years ago. And to this day, the same thing still happens. And let's not talk about just police brutality. Let's talk about mass incarceration. How is it that is a majority, if you compare whites and blacks in this country, there's a majority of white people more than it is black people, right? Based off of the numbers from what I've read. And you're telling me that we are a smaller population in this country compared to white people, but we make up the majority in prisons around this country? Nah, something ain't right. This whole system is all wrong. It's all wrong. And the fact that we sit here and we just don't take the initiative to try to make things different and try to do things different, is you're part of the problem. Now, I'm getting to black supremacy because the reason why I brought this up, because there was a tweet from Terry Crews who basically said defeating, and end quote, Terry Crews on his Twitter page, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. Equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. We are all in this together. Like, bro, you missed the whole point. Now, it's people who commented on that and said what they had to say. I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm going to tell you is this. This is what I think on black supremacy. Let's just get there for a second. Black supremacy is an idea. Black supremacy is an idea of what black people would be able to do when black people become more than what we've never become before. So now, when you go on this idea of us becoming more than what we become, you're not thinking of it in a positive light. You're thinking it in a negative light. You're thinking, oh, because we want equal treatment and we want to be treated like human beings, you think that that's going to be some uprising. It's going to cause some kind of an uprising in this country in which you feel that we're going to become supreme and we're going to dominate and try to do the things that you did to us. But here's the problem with that. Our history has already shown that that kind of violence and ignorance does not have any place in this world. So when you sit up here and you talk about what we're going to do when we decide to become what we've never become before, which is great in this country, you automatically jump to the conclusion that somehow we're going to be just like white people who treat us like crap. I'm not talking about, that goes without saying, I'm not talking about those white people who are allies. We're not talking about that. That's not the conversation right now. We're talking about those people who believe that black lives aren't important right now. So with that being said, you can't say that black supremacy does not exist. You can't say that it does exist. It's only an idea. So the fact that you're taking this idea and running with it, thinking that this is what's going to happen in this country, you're mistaken. And it's sad that you really would reach for that kind of idea, thinking that all we want to do is just be treated equally. And that's all we want from anyone who can't understand black lives. We need you to understand. So black supremacy is an idea based off of fear. People are fearful of what we can become in this country. So much so that they don't want it to come to light because they feel that we're going to do something like them. We're not coming out here like that. We're not coming out here to try to defeat the man and try to kill people off. We're not trying to do that. So my whole thing is like, why can't you just see that we need fair and equal treatment? Why do you just have to jump to the fact that we have to become supreme and control this country and do damage? No, we're not trying to do damage. Things are happening that's damaging, but trust me, this is not the worst of anything that could become if this country cannot change the system that's built around this racist and discrimination. I lived in this country too long, and it's sad because you know what? I grew up a certain way and seeing things, but as I come in life to, you think that we're going to become something when all we just wants to be is great. Just like white people are in this country for what they believe is great for them, we want to be that. And we can't be that if we're still being called nigger, if we're still being killed, if we're still being locked up and jailed for low level offenses. We're talking about people who still locked up from the 90s in 2020 for a pound of weed. For people like Terry Crews saying stuff like that, who don't understand Black Lives Matter, let me tell you this, Mr. Cruz, and any other celebrity or corporation who can't support black lives. If you say something like that, okay, you're a little ignorant. We're going to address it. And we're going to hold you accountable to what you said. And if you don't apologize or if you don't make right of the situation to understand black lives and understand how important black lives are in this time that we need to be treated equally, and you can't get that right now, then we're not going to support you. There's black businesses who are looking for black support, looking for those millions of dollars that we've been trying to support our community for 4 years. And there are a lot of people out there who are making it happen, and I'm willing to make it happen right now by supporting these businesses. So you corporations, you celebrities, get it right, because we taking our money back. That to me is the number one solution. Take your money back from these companies. Dig in their pockets, because trust me, they depend on black money. It ain't just white folks and Spanish and Indian. It's not just these people who are spending the money with these companies. It's black people, and they know it. Let's change the system. Redlining. Stop the white flight. Thinking that your property taxes are gonna go low because black people move into your neighborhood. Stay there. Live. Understand those black people who move into your neighborhood. Not property tax, I'm sorry. The value of my home is going low because of all of these black people in these neighborhoods. And that pretty much happens too. And if you can't address that, then you're also a part of the problem. And that's it. Those little side jokes where I heard a white guy, I swear, in high school. This guy, he told me this joke. He said, why do black people have nightmares? We all looked around. We was like, what? And he said, because the last person who had a dream got shot. When he said that, I didn't know how to respond. He laughed and walked away. And this was somebody who was in like an upper class than me. I was probably like a freshman in high school. He was a senior. So, again, address that. And if you can't address it, we can't support you. We can't support your businesses. We can't support your life. We can't support none of that. I'm not saying don't support these businesses. If you want to still support, go ahead, do your thing. But if they can't support black lives, and we make it clear to them that you need to support us, if you can't, then we can't support you. We're going to address it, make the change. And if you can't make the change, so that's what we're talking about today. White supremacy exists. That's our history. We have to uplift our community, and we can't sit here and build these ideas thinking that, oh, if black people come into power, things are going to be crazy. And no. We're just looking for equal treatment, and we want to be on the same playing level field as any other person in this country who's flourishing. Because every time something happens, we always get knocked down again and again and again. Enough is enough. Celebrities like Terry Crews and all these other celebrities who say things like this, you got like literally 15 seconds, which is the same amount of time that we give anybody who's new coming into the game. You got not 15. You got 15 minutes. Your 15 minutes of fame. You could be famous for years, but right now this is the point in time where, since Corona happened and all of these deaths of these black people happened, all of these celebrities are getting 15 minutes of fame. You're going to be treated just like the newbies that come in the game. You mess up, you're getting canceled. And that's how I'm coming. People say I don't believe in cancel culture. No. I believe in cancel culture at this point in time right now if you can't support Black lives. Period. And that's just how it is, man. We need to uplift our community. We need those allies to help uplift this community so we could become what you are. What you already are. We see the Indian community, we see the Jewish community, we see the Hispanic communities, we see the white communities, we see how you guys work together. And it's difficult for us to do it. You know, of course, us black people definitely have to be, you know, make something of your own, black people. Build something for yourself. Don't always depend on, like, right now is the perfect time. Since when no one's working and all that, right now is the perfect time for you to try to do something for yourself. If you can't, see if you can come together with somebody, come up with some ideas. If you don't have money, save your money, bring things together. Things don't happen overnight, but it can happen if you make it. Instead of just sitting here waiting for your job to open back up, try to do something for yourself. So that way, once all of this is done, and we can continue to get Black lives support, Black life support, Black lives to support each other, then we need more black businesses, and we need more black representation out there, so that way we can support y'all. We need more black doctors, black lawyers. I want to do this mental health forum where I want to see black, psychiatrists and black psychologists or therapists who are willing to help people who need help. I'm willing to have these people in my vicinity, at disposal. And I would hope that they would be accommodating. I'll just end the video on this and say black supremacy is something that is built off of fear. It's an idea. Our history says that black supremacy cannot exist because you still have people who continue to believe that black people are less than human. And they will do anything at any cost to make sure that people understand that and know that. And that's what we have to fight. So, again, these celebrities who've been out for years, you got 15 minutes to get your act together if you decide you want to say something off base like that. We're going to address it, and if you can't get it together, we're not supporting none of your stuff. I'm not watching no more of your movies. I got White Chicks on a disc and a tape in my house. I don't know why I still have the tape, because we don't have VCRs no more. But I will throw them things in the trash. And I like White Chicks. That's one of my favorite movies with him. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a good show. He's funny. But I won't support him no more. So with that being said, we talked enough, you guys. If you like this video, thumbs up. Subscribe at the bottom. Let me know what you think about this video. Tell me what you think about black supremacy. Do you think black supremacy is real? Do you think it's not an idea? You think it's something that could happen if the black uprising does happen? And shout out to my book. If you guys want my book is out now for Kindle and paperback. It's called The Anti-Kind. It is definitely a eye-opener, book. My next video, I'll really get into it, but I think the fact that I wrote this book months ago and discussed protesting in the book and, highlight a certain time in history in this book, of course it's fiction, but I highlighted a certain time in history where a great protest happened in which it led to a series of events that occurred in this country that I believe is possible to happen if we can't correct this situation right now. I've been thinking about us correcting this situation now for years. So me writing this was not unusual for this situation because it's still happening. Even though it's fiction, it almost hits home. Hopefully you guys be able to support the book and see what it's about. It's The Anti-Kind again. If you like this video, well, The Anti-Kind, available on Amazon. Like I said, that's just what I think about black supremacy. It's an idea. And if you think otherwise, let me know what you think. We talked enough. Street Council out.